Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. A surprise trade is suggested to the Warriors, bringing back a great champion and a fan favorite. Andrew Wiggins knows how to play with Stephen Curry and Draymond Green, so his return would be valuable to strengthen the Warriors roster. Suggested trade: Warriors trade Jonathan Kuminga for Andrew Wiggins. The 2025 NBA offseason has not been especially kind to the Golden State Warriors in the early going. Three-time NBA champion and beloved center Kevin Looney decided to leave for the New Orleans Pelicans as an unrestricted free agent on Monday, and Jonathan Kuminga's restricted free agency saga has persisted while Stephen Curry prepares for a pivotal 2025-26 campaign. The four-time NBA champion and 2022 NBA Finals MVP will enter his age 38 season with the expectation of being able to compete for a fifth NBA championship. The future Hall of Fame inductee is still surrounded by 2017 Defensive Player of the Year winner Draymond Green and six-time All-Star forward Jimmy Butler, but the Warriors' general manager Mike Dunleavy could aim to bring in more reinforcements for his aging core. In fact, recent updates have revealed that Golden State may be open to flipping their rising wing Kuminga in a sign-and-trade deal to conduct a quick reunion with a veteran two-way wing and former All-Star with the Warriors, Andrew Wiggins. When it's all said and done, the two most likely Kuminga outcomes this summer are the Warriors bringing him back and maybe trying to move him at the trade deadline, or making a less splashy sign-and-trade, CBS Sports' Brad Botkin wrote Monday afternoon. I'm leaning toward the latter, and I think it ends up being with the Miami Heat in a transaction that brings Andrew Wiggins back to the Bay. Wiggins was a critical part of Golden State's 2022 championship and is perfectly suited and willing to play the role that Kuminga doesn't want. Derek White would be a blockbuster get, but something smaller is more likely, and Wiggins still gives Golden State a third legit scorer and another defender. While the Warriors could plausibly contact the Boston Celtics to negotiate a trade for their defensive-minded guard Derek White, bringing Wiggins back in exchange for Kuminga might prove to be a more effective decision due to his experience with playing alongside Curry and Green during high-stakes contests. During the 2022 NBA Finals against the Celtics, Wiggins claimed designation as the team's second-best player after Curry, as he contributed 18.3 points, 8.8 rebounds, 1.5 steals and 1.5 blocks throughout the six-game series. Before heading to the Miami Heat as a casualty of the Warriors' blockbuster Jimmy Butler deal prior to the February 6 trade deadline, Wiggins had averaged a solid 17.6 points and 4.6 rebounds in 43 appearances for Golden State. If Wiggins were to hypothetically receive an opportunity to rejoin the team next to Butler and Green, Golden State's defense could reach another level. The former number 1 overall pick in the 2014 NBA draft was applauded for his defensive effort against Celtics superstar Jason Tatum in the 2022 Finals as he helped Curry capture his fourth NBA championship ring. Former NBA champion could be a strong fit with Warriors. Finding a long-term solution at the center position should be a priority for the Golden State Warriors this summer. The lack of size in the middle of the floor is becoming a bigger issue with each passing year. Head coach Steve Kerr can't rely on the pace and peskiness of his aging core to continue protecting the rim by committee. Furthermore, the Warriors can't continue asking Draymond Green to operate as a small ball five. He's too deep into his career, and that role will shorten the time he has left in the NBA. Since the 2024-25 season came to an end, the Warriors have been linked with a potential move for Al Horford. The veteran big man is an unrestricted free agent. Boston's talent drain has made it clear that it's not going to be contenders next season. However, Mike Dunleavy Jr. and Joe Lacob shouldn't put all their eggs in one basket. Horford could opt to return to the Celtics or choose to retire. That's where ESPN's Kevin Pelton believes Chris Boucher comes into the equation. He shot 36% on threes and 63% on twos, in producing elite efficiency while also proving capable of defending on the wing in big second-unit lineups, Pelton wrote. The lone Raptors players remaining from the 2019 title team, Boucher might no longer have a place on a roster that looks full with the addition of 26-year-old power forward Sandro Mamukelashvili. Boucher's shooting makes him another logical fit for the Warriors, with whom he started his career as an undrafted free agent before landing in Toronto. Boucher is positionally versatile as he can operate across the entire frontcourt. Furthermore, he has the shot profile and to easily slide into Kerr's rotation. Boucher also comes with championship experience. He was part of the Kawhi Leonard-led Toronto Raptors team that secured the Larry O'Brien Trophy in 2019. Horford will undoubtedly be the Warriors' top target. He's a proven leader and plays the game the right way. His personality would make his fit in the Golden State appear seamless. However, Boucher should be a close second. Everything the franchise is looking for, he can bring to the table. He would likely be cheaper than Horford, too. The only downside is that Boucher is 6'9". He doesn't provide enough size for Golden State to go toe-to-toe with some of the giants in the NBA. Nevertheless, his physicality and length could help make up for the lack of height. Golden State needs a big man and Pelton is suggesting a genuine backup target. As long as the Warriors head into training camp with someone to anchor the paint, their fan base should feel confident that a strong season will await them. The door on the Bulls' best opportunity to trade veteran big man has slammed shut. One more season of Vooch. Upon analyzing the Chicago Bulls roster, you'll notice one attribute stands out more than others. Only one player is above the age of 30, that would be 34-year-old Nikola Vucevic. The Bulls fielded the 8th youngest roster a season ago, and it's only become more youthful in recent weeks after drafting an 18-year-old rookie and swapping 29-year-old Lonzo Ball for 24-year-old Isaac Okoro. Thus, it's not unreasonable to expect the Bulls to trade Vucevic for a player who more closely aligns with their core. Last season, that very scenario nearly occurred. The team that happened to field the second oldest roster in the NBA, the Golden State Warriors, had their sights set on acquiring Vucevic leading up to the February 6 trade deadline. Nonetheless, a trade never materialized as the Warriors instead acquired Jimmy Butler, and the Bulls were unrelenting in their preference to receive a first-round pick in exchange for Vucevic. Despite a trade not coming to fruition before the deadline, rumors about Vucevic making his way to the Bay Area persisted into the offseason. The veteran-laden Warriors were, and are still, in need of reinforcements to their front court. As mentioned at the top of the article, the Bulls are young, and Vucevic doesn't fit the semi-rebuilding timeline. A trade between the two franchises always appeared beneficial for both sides. The Warriors have their sights set on another free agent big man. That is, until now. NBA insider Jake Fisher, via the Stein line, reported that Golden State is no longer interested in acquiring the stretch five. Fisher wrote, "The Warriors, though, appear to have moved away from past trade interest they previously registered in veteran Bulls center Nikola Vucevic, which might have helped spark something this summer." Despite losing longtime veteran big man Kevin Looney to the New Orleans Pelicans in free agency, the Warriors have seemingly lost interest in acquiring Vucevic and have instead set their sights on the free agent market. Fisher wrote, "League sources say Golden State remains a leading contender to sign Al Horford away from Boston. Unlike Vucevic, Horford is an unrestricted free agent. Therefore, the Warriors can add the 39-year-old big man without having to give up any assets in doing so. The same cannot be said of Vucevic. The Montenegrin big man is arguably more impactful at this stage of his career than Horford, yet the former Celtic ultimately fits the Warriors' playstyle better than does Vucevic. Horford is a low-usage, spot-up three-point marksman on offense and a versatile, multi-positional defender on the defensive end of the floor. On the other hand, Vucevic registered a higher usage rate than Butler a season ago, and isn't the most reliable shooter. Moreover, he's one of the league's worst defenders, ranking second to last among centers to play at least 1,000 minutes in crafted NBA's catch-all defensive metric. With the Warriors no longer a viable option, especially if they sign Horford, the Bulls will likely be unable to find a new partner. Not many teams have expressed interest in Vucevic over the last year. Nevertheless, there is a possibility that a center-needy squad, such as Horford's Celtics, expresses some level of interest in Vucevic this offseason. Pelicans' Jonathan Kuminga interest faces considerable obstacles. The New Orleans Pelicans are interested in Jonathan Kuminga, but face considerable obstacles in their pursuit. The New Orleans Pelicans are among multiple teams interested in the 22-year-old. However, their pursuit faces considerable obstacles, the biggest being in the form of Kuminga's wage demands, per Jake Fisher of the Stein Line. Staying below the luxury tax has been a perennial priority for the Pelicans' ownership, and the cap gymnastics needed to do so while signing Kuminga have been described as considerable. The player has also drawn interest from the likes of the Miami Heat, Chicago Bulls, and the Sacramento Kings. However, JK is understood to be seeking a contract worth at least $30 million per season, something a lot of teams are struggling with. The Pelicans are still around $10 million below the luxury tax threshold and will need to move players in order to sign Kuminga at his current demands. Drafted 7th overall in the 2021 NBA Draft, he averaged 15.3 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 2.2 assists per game last season while shooting at over 50% from the field. However, there has been consistent tension between Jonathan Kuminga and head coach Steve Kerr. Last season, Kerr publicly criticized Kuminga's tendency to prioritize his shots over making team plays. He had started just 10 games in the regular season out of a total of 47 appearances. Kuminga also did not play a major role in the playoffs, starting just once in the postseason and playing 23.4 minutes per game, around a minute less than his regular season average. Given the scarcity of cap space in NBA free agency this year, the Warriors have a clear advantage in this scenario. They can simply wait it out and match any offers Kuminga receives, and a short-term return to Golden State might also be in the cards. Golden State Warriors' biggest mistake early in 2025 NBA free agency. The Warriors lost Kevin Looney and have failed to move quickly in 2025 NBA free agency, despite having opportunities to make moves. Following an underwhelming 2025 NBA draft that saw them make minimal roster upgrades, the Golden State Warriors have entered free agency with a clear priority. They want to figure out Jonathan Kuminga's contract situation while finding the wiggle room to make further upgrades for a team that is looking to compete for the championship. However, Golden State may already have made a couple of crucial errors as we move towards the business end of what has already been an eventful start to free agency. First and foremost, the Warriors lost their veteran center Kevin Looney, who ended up signing with the New Orleans Pelicans on a 2-year, $16 million contract. That, in addition to the lack of perceived movement despite the availability of several stars who can add to the roster, means that the Warriors may already be struggling to keep up with the rest of the Western Conference. Warriors lose Kevin Looney, may not move for Damian Lillard. While it may not seem like a major loss, Looney's departure hurts the Warriors. In 76 games last season, the three-time NBA champion averaged 4.5 points, 6.1 rebounds, and 1.6 assists per game, primarily coming off the bench. Considering how Draymond Green has continually been used as a backup center, which is not his native position, losing more height in the frontcourt is a tough blow for Golden State. The team has continued to be linked to former Boston Celtics big man Al Horford, but he's receiving interest from a slew of different clubs as well. If the Warriors can't find a way to bring Horford or another backup big man to replace Looney, this loss will sting even more. Even when considering that, it's clear letting Looney walk has been Golden State's biggest mistake to this point.